Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lucie Volotzky. I'm running for California State Senate, and my district is 27, and I cover California, Simi Valley, Chatsworth, Northridge, Granada Hills. I can say part of Ventura County and LA County. And today I have a pleasure to have a gentleman here with me. His name is Greg Brake. And you will learn a lot about the good stuff, what's happening today. Greg, tell me who you are and a little bit about you, and let's roll the ball.
Okay, yeah, my name is Greg Brake. I'm the executive director of Foster Warriors, fosterwarriors.com, and father of three. My youngest just graduated from University of Maryland with a mechanical engineering degree last week, so that's kind of the top of the topic of conversation. My daughter's getting married in October, and I've got my middle child, Austin, is in Santa Barbara, works for HG Insights, and so been working on Foster Warriors for 5 years with a couple of really good friends, Chuck Ruback and Leif Molo, both retired Navy SEALs.
Fantastic. And, wow, then I'm glad to have you here today. And I can say the foster youth always been close to my heart, because I think foster is such an important thing to be taken care of, because so many kids for so many years, they've been ignored. And what you do and what I learned and what I read about your program, I think is fantastic. Then along the way, we'll learn about how your program works, and we'll go from there. And hopefully that will enjoy everybody, and whoever know about foster care youth that you want to help, hopefully you can reach Greg after this meeting, and I'm looking forward. Greg, again, I know you're working with the Navy SEAL, and we called you do a program called the Challenge 24.
24-hour challenge,
And
yes.
Could you tell me a little bit about this challenge? How do you bring the kids together on a program for the Challenge 24 hours?
24 hours, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think really where it starts is that we've got some of the top, very most respected Navy SEALs, and Chuck Ruback, Leif Molo, John McCaskill, and Brian. I'm not sure his first name is Brian. Let's put it that way. Yeah. He's still an operator, and actually he lived in 23 foster homes before graduating high school. Then became a Navy SEAL, and I believe he was just promoted to SEAL team leader. Just an amazing young man. And so you have Navy SEALs, then you have foster youth that have been aged out of the system. So when you turn 18, and the way Brian explained it one day, that they send you a car, and then they take you to the city building, you sign these papers, and then you get escorted out of the building by security as if you the threat to the somebody in the building, and then good luck. And I said, so what did you So they're stuck, and so what happens is with this 24-hour challenge, what we did was we wanted to devise a program where kids will learn there are three things. One is that they learn to honor their word. They make a commitment to walk for 24 hours, 8 a.m. Saturday to 8 a.m. Sunday. And the second thing is in the middle of this program, in the 24 hours, you make a decision how you want your life to be, and be willing to say no to everything that isn't that. One kid, he wanted to get out of drugs and alcohol. Another person wanted to stay away from subtractive people and things like that. Or different career paths, and different, taking care of their siblings or not taking care of their siblings. There are different things that different kids prioritize. The third thing is that, well, first of all, you say, okay, why Navy SEALs? Well, first of all, they're arguably some of the top 1/10 of 1% of the human race. And then you put 6 Navy SEALs, even if they didn't work together, and you say, okay, even if they were just told, you're going to go on vacation for 3 weeks, go on leave with your family, and then 15 minutes later go, no, you're going to go on this mission to this country and perform this task. And those 6 SEALs will perform at an optimal level, the way Rich Davini he wrote the book called The Attributes. And I asked Rich, I said, Rich, so what is it about Navy SEALs that makes Navy SEALs Navy SEALs? And he said, we were, going back and forth, and we came up with this term, masters of uncertainty. I mean, think about that. Who doesn't want to be a master of uncertainty?
Yes, of course.
So I said, this is what we need to put in the kids. I want the kids to know how to become a master of uncertainty. So that's what we do in the 24-hour challenge. So at the end, these kids are, they're no matter what the lightning bolt that strikes, they have hope because there's ways to deal with this stress and get out of your amygdala into your frontal lobe, make good decisions, keep moving forward, and never quit.
Well, after this 24 hours challenge, what's happening to these children, the youth, they took the program, where they go after that? Or if they go to the program you suggest them to do or to go?
Well, one of the things that I learned from working with veterans, and both near and dear to my heart, and suicide prevention is kind of an underlying theme that isn't really talked about, but it's what, it's almost, you want to focus on the opposite. Mm-hmm. And why do veterans kill themselves? Working with Dr. Joe Law, who's a suicidologist, PTSD expert, and Vietnam veteran, John Fulmer, and some other veterans here in L.A. Determined that they share with me is that the veterans lack a mission and a purpose, and they maybe feel like they don't have something to add to society.
That's correct. Yeah.
Then that's why 35,000 vets have killed themselves since 9/11. Well, you have 30% of adolescent females having suicidal ideations right now, foster kid or no foster kid. Mm-hmm. Then you add the foster PTSD. You don't think these kids have suicidal ideations and maybe why me and all those things. So when you put Navy SEALs and foster youth that have aged out of the system, remember, these are kids that when they turned 18, they were said, good luck.
Good luck, yes.
Like Brian, good luck.
Yes.
Not, hey, Uncle Bobby is saying, or Uncle, Aunt Tina wants you to come live with them, and we're going to live this great life, and they're going to coach you into where to go to college, where to work or whatever. It's not like they have that advantage. Yeah. So, go on.
Yeah, but the thing is, like you were saying, like the foster youth, it's very similar, like the veteran, the people going out of service after 4 years, they are 18, they come in service, and after 4 years, they says, okay, I'm going to do something else. But a lot of them also getting out and they don't know where to go because they don't have family or they cannot get along with the family. And also that's why we're losing so many veterans, like you said, suicidal, or we're losing them on the street, alcoholism. There's so many things problem. And the foster care is the same thing. A lot of foster care kids, I do realize that a lot of time they've been in foster care, and it's just a money machine. And we have to change that, I think. What do you think about changing the narrative to think about the people? When you take kids in your home, they deserve better just to receive a check every month. More than that they can have something better and looking for the future, for a better future for themselves.
Well, I think that, what I've learned, I learned so much from people that I work with here and with foster warriors like Brian, who, really emphasizes accountability because he was a foster kid and he's a SEAL. So he knows both sides of the fence. And he said there needs to be accountability right across the board, but that's also what we're building into foster warriors. So you say, what happens after the 24-hour challenge? Yeah. I don't think I answered that question, but we have events where, well, first of all, we usually get these youth that have aged out of the system from other foster programs that are maybe teaching them job skills and other mentoring type of like normal, this is how you interview, this is how you dress, and yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no. And speak respectfully and ask questions and Q&A, all those things, and prepare for meetings and what have you. So there are these amazing programs that do that sort of thing. So they go back and they're still part of those programs. But when they become a foster warrior after this 24-hour challenge and they accomplish that, then they become part of our organization. And we just tell them, I tell them, I don't care. I was a fixer for my career. I have a black book that I can get anything you need, anytime, anywhere. Well, not any time. Sometimes it takes a little time.
Of course.
If I can get anywhere in the world, I can get whatever you need.
Yes.
Okay. That's one of the things I kind of have always taken, kind of an interest in, right? And been able to deliver on any time that's ever occurred in my life. But, so these kids, I say, you just tell me what you want to be.
Yeah.
I don't care where you want to go. I don't care what career. One of the girls, Maria, she texted me. She goes, I got this offer as a nurse. I've never been a nurse. I've never worked in a hospital. But I called a friend of mine who's a great nurse, a traveling nurse for 15 years. And I said, can you make sense of this offer? She gave me a 3-paragraph thing. I hope it's not too wordy. It was exactly what we needed. You know, I just happen to have really good friends and people that have been very nice over the years that we, you know, build this network. And I gave it to Maria and she goes, oh my God, this is great. So she took the job. I said, Maria, it sounds like a good job, you know?
Well, and I just think about something. A lot of there's always like the kids, they are underserved. They are not intelligent. They kind of put them in the corner. You are no good. You cannot do anything in your life. And I think that starts when you are very young also. And the kids grow with that idea. I'm just here for what? I'm not a no good. I will never be successful in life. And I think this is what it brought the kids in trouble. And for you to do that for the foster care, foster care youth, and to be at this program, you kind of save them to let them know they are better when the people can think about you.
Well, you know, that what we do and what I've always done, okay, as a coach, I've coached a lot of Little League, is I like the underdog. Yeah. I was an underdog in a lot of ways, you know, because I joke around a lot. I like to have a lot of fun. People don't think I'm serious sometimes. I'm serious as a heart attack. I just don't always act that way outwardly. But I'm very, very driven to accomplish stuff. And so, but these children, yeah, some kids have been, you know, one thing to be beaten with a steel rod as a baby, it's another thing to be told you're worthless and weak, right? Yeah. And so what we do is we vet our mentors, you know, the Navy SEALs and their allies, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, you know, as well as executives. We've got some amazing mentors like the Curtis Estes of the world and, you know, what have you, that we vet to be a good finder. So you catch the kids doing things right. So it, and you know, every one of these kids is special. Any kid that's going to say, I want to walk for 24 hours with Navy SEALs, and they don't know what to expect. No, it's not. It's a completion exercise. It's not carrying logs and walking over broken glass uphill both ways and all. That's not that. It's really a very constructive, you know, crafted system with some of the world's top leaders. And Leif Molo led 1,600 of the Joint Task Force to oust, you know, he's a very accomplished leader, okay, and lots of programs. And, you know, these guys, I know a couple of them, the government spent over $25 million apiece training them. So Navy SEALs get the best resources of anything you can imagine that a human being needs, whether it's military, coaching, or, you know, thinking on the fly, you know, whatever those things are. You know, health, you know, mental, spiritual, physical, you know. But
you were saying you've been doing that for 5 years, if I recall. For 5 years you've been doing this?
Yeah, so for 5 years is when Chuck and I first started talking about this.
Okay.
I met with another, but what happened was I wanted to do foster youth that were younger than 18.
Okay.
Because I want to catch them earlier.
Yes, that's the best.
But the problem is that even when I would reach a program that had kids in an environment where they needed coaching like this, the laws prohibit the 24-hour challenge, saying that they got to sleep and, you know, all these things. But the key to this 24-hour challenge is the 24 hours. It's that last 6 hours is where the magic happens. So you can't. So if you go to a normal, this is the thing. So I tell you, Melissa, one of the foster warriors, had a new marketing guy, and he said, well, he asked Melissa, so Melissa, is foster warriors any better, different than anything you ever done? Well, she gave us a testimony that I might even get emotional talking about it. But she's an amazing kid. She's been a difficult time. She at the age of 6, she had to take care of her 3-year-old and 1-year-old siblings.
Wow.
Okay, her mother was no longer. So she was the one, and she went to school. So you see this little girl going to first grade, and she's late, and you wonder, no, she doesn't care about school. Yeah. No, she's got 2 siblings she has to feed before she goes to school, or although they won't be fed.
Yeah.
So anyway, so then this carries on until she's 12. Somebody finds out about it. Because I remember asking her, I said, so what did you do with text messaging as a kid? How was how did that work? And she goes, Greg, I didn't have a cell phone. I said, what are you talking about? I said, well, how did you know where like dates and things, like where the kids were playing? She goes, I didn't have a life.
It just happened recently? How long ago?
No, she's 23 now.
Okay,
she
23.
She just turned 23.
23 at the time.
Okay, well, I'm giving you the long story. And listen,
that's good because I want to try to see.
It gives you a little background.
Yes,
gives you a little background. So this is what happened to her. Then she went into a foster home, okay? And now she's out of the system, okay? And so they're not just a normal 23-year-old, okay, I'm going to date, not date, get married, not get, where's my career? She works 80 hours a week, as a phlebotomist and, you know, lab technician.
Yeah.
And then she goes to USC for a clinical psychology degree. And she pays for her place. And she's got 2 siblings she takes care of, you know, looks out for, right? And so she went on the 24-hour challenge. And so John asked her, what is different? She goes, I've been through a lot of programs, you know, the resume writing and all the other like really, really good, helpful programs. But she said nothing has helped her like Foster Warriors when the lightning bolt strikes. Because she had a lightning bolt strike, and I don't really want to talk about her story out of school, but she had some things that were extremely dangerous and extremely, you know, for anybody, you'd have quite a bit of concern, right? And she called me, and the one thing she did say in December, she was so cute because I'd met her, you know, we all know each other really well, and she called me, and I'm thinking she's like are you getting married, Melissa? She goes, no, it's actually the exact opposite. And I was like, what's happening? And she goes, well, March 1st, I'm going to be homeless. And I said, no, you're not. I said, get on your knees and thank God right now for the new place you got.
Wow.
And she goes, okay. And she didn't ask why. She just did it, right? Now, if you ask me, I didn't know what we were going to do, but I knew that God was going to take care of it, right?
Course.
So I said, just come with me to where I go. Just come to events, come to my job, come to network with me. Something's going to happen for you. And so we go to this UFC event, a United Friends of the Children. And anyway, to make a long story short, we end up meeting some people that were benevolent and said, hey, I know USC. I know resources that we can help you. And she's not going to be homeless. You tell her right now, she's not. Come over here, Melissa. You're not going to be homeless.
Wow.
And she was hanging out with Haddish. Is it Stephanie Haddish, the comedian? Really funny lady. But anyway, she was a foster kid. And Tiffany Haddish. And Carla Palmer and Barbara. It was some people part of this organization. Anyway, all looked out for her.
Carla Palmer.
But Carla's she's amazing. And so some really neat people. So what we do, when you ask, so being connected with these SEALs, it all come back. I kind of got a little ADHD. But coming back to your question of what happens after is that no benefit goes unused is our philosophy. So I just network my face off. Anybody that likes foster kids, knows somebody with a program, I get to know them and what the resources are. So whether it's housing or whether it's, you know, college coaching or whether it's education or it's jobs, you know, I just met an organization that does internships with construction companies, LACCD. So if they're an LACC student, they can get an internship, and I already got it. I've got to put this together in my little black book of resources. So if somebody wants to be in the construction industry, I have an internship, and I know McCarthy and Pankow, and my son Jonathan's going to be a mechanical engineer at Clark Construction. So we'll get them an internship, and they'll get credit for the internship with the LA Community College. Anyway, that's kind of what we do too. Is I'm just constantly building. And so these people helped her. Long story short, everything was working out. Last minute, the accountant couldn't cut a check. Anyway, so I had to. So I didn't have the $3,000 at the moment. I asked my son Austin, who's another foster warrior. I said, Austin, can we borrow $3,000 for like 6 days? You know, he's like, fine. So he zells me, and we get her in her place, and and I coach her on how she can talk because I had a meeting that night. So this is the thing. So I meet Melissa, and I meet her at the restaurant. And I'm getting ready to go to this other meeting at 7:30, and I'm talking to her, and she's not. I could feel that she's not 100% comfortable. I said, "Do you want me to go with you?" She goes, "Will you?" And I was like, and then she didn't want to say that.
Yeah.
Because these kids are tough, you know.
Of course.
They don't want to ask for help. Yeah. You know, but they're getting used to it because they know that we'll do anything for them. All of us will all do anything for these kids, right? And so, so I go with her. And we meet this guy, nice guy, by and large, a nice guy, beautiful home, beautiful brand new home that God put in her path, right? And so the guy started talking to her like, well, you know, this is the way the real world works. And, you know, and I said, hey, hold on a second. That's the only time I stepped in. I said, I want you to understand something. You'd be amazed. If she accepts this place, you would be lucky to have her as a tenant. You know, he goes, okay, you know. And so anyway, so we got it all worked out. But it's good. Like, you're not gonna let her. I mean, I want her to do her own stuff. I feel proud about that, but I'm not going to let some guy, you know,
then you
kind
can
of put her in a box.
You can do the kids who come to you, you can really open up all the doors for them for the future. That's great.
That's what they deserve. You see, the thing is that before the event happens, the 24-hour challenge, it's like, has anybody ever thought about why me?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought like,
everybody, why me? Why is it happening to me? Yeah.
Why did I get this thing? And then this kid over here has got the, the cash and prize. Why them? Is because they got the golden ticket when they go to the Foster Warriors 24-hour challenge. You get to hang out with these Navy SEALs. You get to feel the love, because these kids have been conditioned. Two things. Every single child that I've met in this environment, whether it's Foster Warriors or otherwise, I sense two things. One is they're conditioned to never trust anybody anytime about anything for anything. And the second thing is they're conditioned not to expect to experience unconditional love. Mm. And knowing that you have unconditional love from your parents or somebody is the most powerful thing. And I'll never forget when I learned that I had unconditional love from my parents.
Well, that's great. I think I did too. And where do you do this 24-hour challenge? Is it in the valley?
It's a secret location. It's a secret location. Yeah. Okay. Because the people that own the property don't really want gawkers or but it is in the wilderness, and it's in a very comfortable place. We got some, we do these evolutions. That's what SEALs call it. They call it evolutions. Mm-hmm. And they have these different philosophies. The only easy day was yesterday, so this is an easy day. And and the next day we can look back and say that was the easy day.
That's good. How do you get your support? I'm saying, as far as donations, is it all private donations, or are you getting some grant by the government?
Okay, let me tell you, I've been running full speed doing, starting this thing. I've done a number of startups, but I have a full-time job too. How have we been doing it? It's been piecemeal. First of all, reach out to friends and family.
Okay.
And then it's all been private, except for the Optimist Club gave us, and also the American Legion.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
So the American Legion sees the value. And from Foster Warriors, we've added probably 5 members to the Pacific Palisades for American Legion. And there were veterans that we used for the videotaping, the drone photography, and things like that. They're veterans, and they're like, oh my God, we got to be part of this. And they went out to Catalina Island with the American Legion in Pacific Palisades, number 283. So appreciative of those folks, And I'm a son of the American Legion. My dad was in the Navy as well. Oh. So I just happen to love, we're just supporting the veterans, and but they're the ones that have the philosophy of no benefit goes unused. Right, it goes on, unutilized by the veterans, and so I adopted it from them. So it's not like it was a genius thing, although that's what I've kind of wanted to always do. They coined that phrase. Yeah. And
what do you see the future of this program? And says, do you have a how can I say, a way to say where you want to be like 5 years from now with this program? Do you have something?
Well, the one thing that what I love working with Chuck, Leif, and Brian, and John, is that we want to make sure that what we have is just absolutely buttoned up and tight. That we can take this, like I just talked to a friend of mine that's friends with one of the members of Parliament of Australia. He goes, oh my God, can we take this to Australia and do that? Yes, we can do this anywhere. Yeah. But do we want to, for 5 years from now, nationwide? It could be nationwide or in major cities, but we could do this. We could do the 24-hour challenges anywhere. The key is the network of follow-on activities and resources, because they're regional and they're local. But to answer your question about the money, I forgot to tell you, DMH and all I've got relations with a grant writer. We need donation. We need, because really we could do so much good for these kids.
Of course,
if I could spend more time on it. But because we could do more 24-hour challenges, and then just versus 2 or 3 a year. We could do.
Oh, how many you do? How many you do a year? Yeah, this is one of my questions.
This past we've done this. We're getting ready to do our 3rd one in September.
Okay.
21st, 22nd, and so we're raising money for that. I just got confirmation by the landowner that we've got the 21st, 22nd, and which is great news. I just like an hour ago.
Okay.
And so, and then there's a lot of preparation. People coming in and. We have Leif Molo and Leif and Brian and Chuck, very well-connected guys. We've got 2 psychologists joining this time. Every time it gets a little better, a little better, a little better.
Of course, it's a progress.
And we're gonna add in some other components that are very, very powerful that Brian went through in one of his personal development, spiritual development experiences in life. Being a foster youth himself, have gone through.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing is that there's nobody, no child can say, "Oh, I experienced this," and there isn't one of us that has experienced it already. We say, "Well, I've been through that.
Yeah.
I remember what that was like."
Yes, of course.
You know, but there's comfort in that.
Yeah.
Right, because they're not the only. You know, we're not as unique as we think we are.
Yeah, they don't feel alone. How many kids how many youth do you have on the program?
Currently is about 15.
15.
Yeah, which is actually a pretty good number. And the biggest thing is, Foster Nation. They're one of our sister organizations, and they've been a very strong supporter and provider of some really top quality kids. I mean, all the kids are top quality, but I mean, it's like kids that want to commit to the 24-hour challenge. It's been fast. It's been fabulous.
Now, tell me a little bit more how the kids can find you, the youth can find you, or you have to find.
They can go on our website.
Yes,
and they can just sign up to be a mentee. They can sign up to be a mentor. There's actually a guy that signed up to be a mentor that looks really, really promising. And I do owe him a call if he ends up watching this. And I can't remember his name, but I did see the order form, but really been focused on when is the date. So when I talk to somebody that can give them all the information. It's
like I'm aware there is a foster apartment building in North Hill. The kids, like they are elderly kids, like maybe like 16 to 18, and they are in the process maybe to get out of the system and be on their own. Is anybody? Have you?
I would love to meet them.
Okay.
What's the name?
I have to recall. I put a note on this.
I'm going to put a note. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is how it happens. Is I'm talking to people and they go, "Hey, I know," and Christian Bale. He's building a home for foster youth that put their siblings in. I've got a couple of foster kids that foster warriors that have siblings that they're constantly trying to figure out what to do with their siblings. So, partnering with different groups, I'd love to meet Christian Bale and his organization to see how, because those kids can become foster warriors too.
Of course.
And see these other organizations. But that house sounds very interesting. But I also have a friend. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, because really, say 5 years, there are a lot of things I want to do. Okay. And one of them is I want to have public-private money build foster homes, build homes,
yes,
or have homes,
yes,
in the Palisades, in Santa Monica, in Brentwood, that happen to have 8 or 10 foster kids living in it.
Yes,
but it's not just they're just living in it, right? It's not like a fraternity house or a sorority house or vice versa. It could be an incubator. So maybe all these kids want to be, they want to build something,
They
right?
want to build something.
And so we got Iridy, who's the materials engineer. We got, Maria, I'm just making it up, but because Maria wants to be a nurse. But say Maria wants to be a pilot. Lauren actually wants to be an aeronautical engineer, okay, Lauren Session. So we're connecting her with Mo Edlaw, who's one of he's an Air Force veteran. So she's looking at either Air Force or Navy, and she wants to do the, free education, right? So Leif Molo is going to connect her to, some high-level guys. So it's not that they're just not going to the recruiting office and going, I want to be in the Navy. And they're like, okay, number 174592. Yeah. You show up on this date, it's where there's a plan.
Yes,
this is
right.
a realistic plan. So whatever it is they want to do, we're going to give them the mapped out, well thought out approach to their career and their life.
You really find myself... I find myself in the alley, like we were discussing a little bit earlier. I do believe in that. I think if they have a place to go and to achieve their dream, it's possible. And I think, by the way, this is the way I always think outside the box, that will be less costly to government, maybe to take a part of it than to see the kids to be on the street, to be become like making crimes or victim for any kind. It will be less costly to take care of the child right away, or the youth right away, and to bring them on the workforce that will giving back. Because it's a giving back in a way. They will never lose their money because they will have end up to pay some taxes, and they will be a better human being. It will be a better situation around us. Like right now, if you look all this homelessness and everything we're having, a lot of people is from the veterans. They've been getting out of the service. They have nowhere to go. Or the foster care is the same thing. The kids went out. They didn't have nowhere to go. They became on the street, and look where we are today. And that's sad because they are so advanced mentally, been abused and alcoholism and all this stuff. It's hard to come back. They lost completely the trust of themselves. They can become somebody. And that's why I think we have to get them as young, like at 16, 17 years old, before they getting out of the system, that we have a place for them to make sure they're going to be on the right place and they can become somebody. Or they are somebody, but to achieve their dream.
Well, to be proud of who they're becoming.
Yes,
right.
yeah.
And so I tell you, so to follow on it, as the ideas, I don't have any notes, so this all comes right out. I mean, I've been eating, sleeping, and breathing this for 5 years, but one of the things I want to do is build a drop-in center, which is a cool place to network where the 16, 17-year-olds can come as well. But they're, where the veterans like to hang out, the foster warriors like to hang out, or they're doing constructive things, maybe where we have our classes or we have our different coaching and mentoring things. So that's another piece of it. But when they, what I also want is we're going to build an e-commerce portion to the site here where you can sell, because I've been talking about, even my marketing guy, what is uncovering hidden Van Goghs? Because these kids have talents that they don't even know about.
That's correct, yes.
So I want to uncover those talents. I want to give them a place where they can do that, right? So I've been doing things because my mother, when I was a little kid, my mom, she would create these bus trips to potato chip factories to how does this work? How does that work? All over England. We lived in England. We'd go because she found stuff to do, and she was paid for it, and we were all paid for it. We'd go for free. But we do all these fun things.
Yeah.
And so everybody go, God, your mom's so much fun. And I'm like, she is fun, So so we did the equine therapy. We're doing a thing in June with Baron Paris. He's a well-regarded artist, and he does wallpaper. He just did something for the Hearst Mansion in New York. He was going to do the second 24-hour challenge. Phenomenal artist.
Don't forget to invite me.
So you can come. Yeah. Well, it's June 22nd, but it is space limited. But I can send you the information. But no, we'd love to have you. But he is going. We're how you have like a Louis Vuitton and Chanel collab, right? We're going to do a Foster Warriors Baron Paris collab, and he's introducing this new art medium to the kids. So we're going to create some things and sell it on the website and give the kids the money, right? So these kids, it's like that are into art. When you make money on the art, all of a sudden it's like, wow, there is validation. I'm actually an artist, right? Yes. And so, but I did this as a test thing when I ran a construction company, and they had some PR problems, and I said, well, we ought to do an art contest for the Thanksgiving card. So the girl that won was a freshman at Pali High, Pacific Palisades High School. And so anyway, she wins this contest. But I remember she did all this art, and I said, you ought to put your initials on it. And she goes, well, I don't do it for money. I just do it for fun. I said, well, you didn't see the Tom Petty, speech before he died? Where Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, he said, out in this concert, he said, who likes to make music? And they're like, he goes, what's the most important thing about music? Yeah. And they're like, the melody, the lyrics. He goes, no, how are you going to make money? And everybody's like, what? Oh my God, no, I just want to make music. He goes, no, if you want to make music, you got to be able to live. Yeah. You got to know how you're going to make money.
That's great.
Right. So anyways, we had that conversation with that young lady. And so then another friend of mine who owns an art gallery in the lumberyard in Malibu, she said, why doesn't she have an art opening? I was like, an art opening? I'm almost intimidated myself. It's like, I don't know. I said, and she goes, yeah, let's do it. And so she puts this whole thing together. Bobby puts everything together, and lo and behold, she makes $3,500 on her art as a freshman in high school. And now she's graduating from Pali High, and she's going to go to college to be some kind of I'm sure, even if she's not into art, to have that kind of validation as a ninth grader, come on.
Yeah.
How many kids, how many artists, how many people, one of the Foster Warriors, Penelope, and she was an Army vet, she's an artist, she's an actress and all these things. And she goes, but my art, I've never made money doing art. And she's over 21.
That's fantastic.
Well, she's probably 35 or whatever. Yeah. But my point is that she and this other girl, so that's why I know that if we put this up there and these kids are getting valid, so maybe they want to do custom clothing lines. Maybe they want to do.
Yeah.
So we could have these incubator could be marketing, like the whole shebang. Like a kid comes into the Foster Warriors program. I want to sell space helmets, whatever they are. And then we got the marketing guy, we got the girl that knows how to do the SEO, all that. Anyway,
I came with an idea. I don't know.
I'm going to write it down.
No, write it down. It's very important.
I'm ready.
I think we should do a 24 hours challenge with all the big corporations there is out there, because they are philanthropic or they have to give to nonprofit organization, but to gear to you, to reach out to you, and how we can have a way to build build a home or like a little apartment building, then we can serve the people who they needs to have a place. And I think we can, through a 24 hours challenge, we send a letter to all corporations, you sell everything, you have 20, and you might be surprised that instead to give to that nonprofit organization, they might derail. It says, hey, this is a good program before they're getting out of their foster care, or also like the veterans, before they're getting out of the service, they have nowhere to go. Then they have something to look ahead for themselves to be successful. And for them to be part of it, they put their name on the building, who they are. And I think it's a big thing. And at that point, it will serve better for the community, because they know these kids, they will become what they want to be. They will feel like loved, they will caring. And these kids, they can give back to the community. I think this is the way we have to challenge.
No, you listen. I knew there was a great reason why I loved your name. It's like no, that's the most brilliant idea. Because let me tell you why. The one thing that works, if you're sad, do something for somebody else.
Yeah,
and it works. Mm-hmm. It changes the physiology. Well, you could get angry. Anger works too. I remember learning that from Rich Davinian, the Attributes author. He vetted Navy SEALs for SEAL Team 6 and all that stuff, and he's 25 years SEAL teams. This guy knows human behavior. And anyhow, so we're talking about, anger works. Where you get angry, the chemistry in your brain changes to where it makes you feel different. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're angry all the time, then obviously there's adverse things that will happen in your life.
Of course.
But when you're doing for others, it changes everything.
It's everything.
But this is what I'm talking about. So these corporations that are having trouble keeping their top talent, you have them be the mentors of this thing, but it's sponsored by Corporation X, right? And it's this organization, this drop-in center with their name on it.
Yeah.
And so it all brings in good things, because their kid, they're going to want their kid to be successful. So they all of a sudden start learning, oh, you need to learn to network within your company? I'll teach you. You want to learn to network within your industry? I'll teach you, so that you can bring this back to your kid.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, if they don't already know that. So this whole cross-pollination, we need each other.
Well, the thing is, I'm thinking about the corporation. All these people, they are human beings. Maybe we don't know their past life too, because a lot of kids, they become, they were a kid, they become very successful in corporations and everything. They were maybe in the same situation once, but they've been appropriately. Some can be luck, or they work very hard. It says, I'm not going to keep myself in this situation. I'm going to become very successful. But there is always one in the office that will relate for something, that what you do and how they feel, or they've been there. And I think that can work. I think that can be.
That's a great idea, Lucie.
I think now you have a lot of work to do.
Yeah. No, I listen. I know what to do. We get the money and we get the support. I can absolutely execute. And we have the guys on the team. I've got young people that are, like my son's friends. My son has some amazing friends. Noah and Nicole and some other folks that he's met in Santa Barbara and up in Chatsworth and things, or Simi Valley that he met when he went to college. He had transferred out from Maryland. And had this old whole transition of getting UC credits.
Oh, that would be fantastic. I think you do that. You bring them in the room, a 24-hour challenge. You challenge
we could
them
do that,
too,
yeah.
and that'd be fantastic.
Well, we could do it for the employees with the mentored groups within the company.
Yes.
We can change it up a little bit. Doesn't have to. It can be. Yeah.
Chatsworth is the highest corporation. The number of corporation is in Chatsworth, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
No, I had no idea.
Manufacturing and everything. It's one of the biggest in pretty much for California at least.
No kidding.
Yes, and
wow.
Very, very. I know some people move out because of the economy. Economically, it was not appropriate for them with the taxes situation and everything. But we still have a lot good corporation in
great.
Chatsworth. It's huge.
That's interesting.
Yes.
I've only been up there. They had there's a barbecue place up there, massive barbecue place on this little country road. I don't know.
Yeah. So it was, but
I don't know.
It's not anymore. This been there. It's
COVID.
In Valley Circle, going to Valley Circle.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
I've been there, but it's not open anymore.
Yeah.
That's sad. It was a very inclusive place, and
it was very cool. Yeah. It had the best barbecue. I just remember driving all the way out there one night. I remember seeing they had a band, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go check this place out.
That's good. But right now it's closed. I drive sometime around there. It's closed. But there is a good things that could happen for you guys. I think
that's awesome.
there is potential. Like I said, for me, like I was explaining to you, I'm running for office. Is one the asset I want to do to make sure we have answers and to do something better for our kids. Our kids is our future.
100%.
And
100%.
And especially right now.
Well, I call them. I tell them, how's the future of America doing? Because they are the future of America.
Yes, but the thing is, I don't want to make, because I think your program is so important that I don't want to mix with why I'm running for office or what about my elections and everything. It's not about me, but the thing is what's happening in school right now. And all this transition and the blocker and everything, that makes up the kids. That will make up. We will have a big problem in the near future for our children, mentally and physically. And this is what they're doing now in Sacramento to destroy our youth. Then we have a lot of work to do. And this is what I'm fighting for our children. I'm looking forward to represent you. And that's why for me, what I do, I don't like credit. I like to give ideas. And if you come and flourish, this is my little things that says I'm happy it's happening.
Thank you.
That's the only things the way I think.
We're very teachable, even though everybody's done a lot of things in their life that's part of the leadership here.
Yeah.
It's like. I remember Brian when he joined. He's like, hey, are you open to, look, I may talk about something like I really believe it, like I know it's the right thing. All you have to do is tell me the truth, and it's something that's like, boom, then let's shift.
That's great.
And that all those words are gone. Let's go this way.
Yeah.
And that's what we do with each other. So it's a very healthy back and forth.
Yeah. Before we close, do you have anything you would like to add on? Like it's very important about what you do because it's very important. We don't forget anything what is very close to you, to your heart, to the program for the foster youth, that we are there for them. They are not forgotten. We want to do the best for them and to find a way to really translate the message and to do the right way. Anything before?
Well, I just wanted to say that, as a dad, we talked about children and stuff. And, my daughter, one of the things when my daughter was a junior in high school, she had been bullied for a number of years. This cute little private school and all this stuff and these behind the scenes stuff. And so she attempted suicide. And, we went through a lot of stuff, and it was very, very difficult. And especially, it's like, she knew, she didn't know she was loved, or whatever it is. Somebody gets to that place and they make a permanent decision on a short-term pain.
Yeah, I feel you. I know.
And so it. Anyway, we got through the woods. She's doing great today. She's getting married. She's just the most amazing young lady. She's my little girl. She's always going to be my little girl.
Of course.
Right? Anyway, one day she said, "Dad, you're not proud of me." And I said, "What are you talking about?" She goes, you don't tell anybody about me doing that. And I said, "You want me to tell people?" And she says, "If it'll help them." And my daughter is the most amazing young lady. She's an elementary ed teacher for the special needs. And
Wow.
so I've always wanted to do something to help kids that may experience that sort of thing.
Of course.
So that's where the idea came from, is
Okay.
that, and then learning that 30% of the adolescent girls have suicidal ideations. I know what that's like as a dad, and not knowing that that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, she was bullied by these girls, and the last betrayal was this girl that she thought was her best friend, you know? And, you know, it's amazing how people, you know, so anyway, so long story short, getting off that piece of it, a friend of mine gave me this book called Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters, where you learn as a dad how your daughter thinks. And it's a life-saving book. I've given 100 copies away. Anybody that says they have a girl, I give them a copy of the book. And because it's a playbook as a dad, and it helps you be a really good dad. It'll show you ways in which, and so I just want to put, not a plug, I don't have any money in this book. I don't care. It's just that it is the secret. If you're a dad and you have a little girl, right? If you're a dad, that Strong Father, Strong Daughters is an incredible book. And it'll tell you ways in which you are a good dad, and tell you ways you could do things differently.
Yeah.
But I remember it gave me an idea of taking Devin away for 2 weeks, and where no cell signals and all this. And we went to Vail, stayed with this amazing woman. She is a sanctuary, and she said, you must go through pressure. You must go through extreme things. She's a French, when you said French Canadian, she's French Filipino. And so you sounded like her. That's why I was like, God, you sound like somebody, one of my friends. Anyway, so she, when I told her about Devin, she goes, I love her already, and bring her out here. So she had us do all these events. One of the events was paragliding. That's jumping off a mountain with a parachute.
Oh, my God.
And so my daughter was a junior in high school, and I said, Devin, we're going paragliding. She's like, okay, and we're going. Of course, she's scared, you know, but it's, you know, anyway. So, and it was where the sport was invented, and down this town past Vail. And these are her friends. One guy's been guiding for 21 years. The other one's been guiding for 23. And the guy that invented paragliding is taking pictures for ESPN. He no longer does it because he's an old man. He was there. Anyway, so we go there and we do this thing. And it's just these sticks on the edge of the mountain with little ribbons. But when all the ribbons are going in horizontal, then you go, because that's when you have the lift.
I don't want to even think about it.
There's no like...
Just to think I cannot be on the stool. It's just like whatever.
There's no like there's no like brand of a company. It's just the top of a hill, right? It's this big mountain, right? And so Deb and I are getting ready, and all of a sudden her guy goes go, and she just run. So you're just running, and you don't see anything. You're just running, and you're running and jumping off the edge of the mountain, right? And so she went first. And my guy said, stop, because our side wasn't blowing. So we had to stop and go back, right? Anyway, she takes off and she does it. So then I take off and we do, and I was a little bigger. So thank God there's like a ledge down there, because we jump and then we went down like 6 feet and landed on this other ledge. And then we took off and flew, and then we were flying. So anyway, at the end, they gave us a DVD, and I'm watching this DVD of hers first. She's crying her eyes out. Now, remember, my daughter had been conditioned not to trust anyone because her little best friends, who she thought were her friends, betrayed her in such a horrible way. And so, and it just breaks my heart, And so, but I told her, I said, Devin, this is, according to the plan of this woman. And I said, Devin, the thing that was, I just observed, I said, but you trusted this guy. 23 years, and, you trusted somebody. Because I forgot to tell you, a year or two prior, she said, I don't trust anybody, even you, Dad. Yeah. When she said that, it broke my heart.
Of course.
And it just killed me, right? So I said, I wanted to find somebody that she had trusted. And I said, you trusted that guy. And she goes, I didn't trust him. I trusted you, Dad.
She completely reversed it, yeah. But you know what?
So anyway, so that's like, this is real stuff. Yeah. And the thing that I just want to say is there's hope, right? Because my daughter was at a place... She was like me. It's like she says she's going to do something. She's going to do it, right? And if it wasn't for a series of events that anyway, so thank God she's here. Good. But I'm just telling you that it doesn't matter how bad the situation is. There's always a way out.
That's correct.
Right? And if we stick with each other, we can figure it out.
But like you say, it's about trust.
That's exactly right.
And love.
And unconditional love.
And to keep it close to you. I think that's the thing. Trust and very close to you.
Yeah.
I think that.
Well, there is that inner
change.
circle, as we
Yes.
talk about on the 24-hour challenge too. There's an inner circle.
Yeah.
There's maybe 2 or 3 people. That's it on the planet, and then it goes to the outer circle, then the outer circle.
Yeah.
But there's a certain group or a certain 1 or 2 people, and you're very lucky if you die with 3 in your inner circle. That's what Mom used to tell me. You're very lucky if you die with 3 of real friends. Yeah. And we try to be at least one of them for these kids.
Now, how they can reach out to you?
Well, fosterwarriors.com or Craig@fosterwarriors.com. Simple email, and I'll be certain to get back to you as quickly as I can. And love to any assistance. And there's also we call it being part of potential donor or whatever or inquiry, how you can help, how you can support. So there's 3 ways. It's investor, supporter, or advisor. Don't
forget, we're going to go to the 24-hour challenge to raise from the corporations. Is going to be in the works, and hopefully by the end of the year, it could happen.
It could.
And make the success out of it. And by the way, I want to thank you so much to be here with me.
Lucie.
I think we had a great conversation. And don't forget, everyone, my name is Lucie Volotzky. I'm running for California State Senate. It's one of the reasons, with Craig, to be here today to change our youth to have a better life. And it's possible, and for all your children, because in fact you might going through problem yourself inside of your family, but we want to be there for you. But you have to have the right people to be supporting you, especially in Sacramento. We need better educations and to give the right for our children and the youth. Everybody, we love you. And don't forget to go to my website. It's voteforlucie.com, VOTEFORLUCIE.com. And I cover part of LA County and Ventura County. I'm looking for your support, but don't forget about Craig, because Craig is here to save our children. Then don't forget about him. And I'm glad to be with you here today. And hopefully we'll see you again. And let's work together for the future. Thank you, everyone. And it was a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Lucie.
you.
The pleasure's mine.
Thank you.
Yeah.